Hi, Jason Wall with San Jose Pro Drum. Today we're going to be taking a look at bass drum technique using a single foot. Basically there's some things I notice in a lot of players, and the thing to remember is that when it comes to technique, there really isn't a right or wrong way. It's whatever works best for you, as long as you don't hurt yourself. I do notice a lot of players, they leave the bass drum buried, the beater buried. The only disadvantage I see with that, though I'm producing a pretty good sound, is that I'm in a constant state of stress right here. It takes effort to hold that beater into the bass drum. So the rule of thumb I try to follow is, and you hear a lot of people talk about this maximum result, minimum effort, is to produce a sound. The best sound I can produce is one that is relaxed. And then also, as long as I'm not hurting myself, I'll be able to do this for the long haul. So we're going to start real basic. I'm going to start with a 1 and 3 on the bass drum, just using a simple 8th note groove, 2 and 4 on the snare drum. And pay close attention to the thigh. Ready, go. Now notice I'm making an upstroke with my leg. Now I could take advantage of that by getting a note on the way up. So in a funk groove, like the a 1, a 3. So here's that groove. Ready, go. Notice the thigh moves once, not twice like the other way. Now that works at a wide variety of tempos too, because I'm only moving once. I could play it a lot faster. 1, Okay, now let's take a look at the other movement. We just looked at getting the note on the way up. And now we're going to get a note on the way down. So I'm going to come up and roll off my toes. Notice the thigh still moves once. What most people do is they move the thigh twice. So I'm going to demonstrate this really slow. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, another thing to look for is I'm always coming back to what I just call the rest position. If I'm just sitting here like I'm at a desk, and basically that's the feeling I want to get. When I'm at a desk, I'm not like holding my foot up in the air or doing anything wacky like that. I'm just sitting like this. So this is exactly how I sit at the drums. Also notice my foot is not way up on the footboard. That actually takes a lot of power away from you. So my foot is actually, you know, about 3/4 of the way up on the footboard. That's where I find I get the best sound, versus if I start sliding down here, I've lost power. Or if I go too far up, this one actually has a little foot stop there, but I don't get very much power there. So this is a great place for just general rock, funk, normal volume situations. Okay, so I always want to get back to this rest position. That's getting the note on the way down, on the way up. Notice my toes are not leaving the pedal. That's like the equivalent would be taking your fingers off the drumstick. You would lose control. So you don't want to do that. So make sure those toes, without a lot of pressure, stay in contact with the pedal. at all times. Okay, so now we're going to combine getting the note on the way up and down. So a 1E, a 3E. Ready, go. Notice the thigh. A little faster. So I can do that for very long periods of time and not waver in the tone, not waver in the time. So that's the key. You want to make playing as easy as possible. And surprisingly, a lot of tension does come from the feet, which if you're playing a show or something like that, especially one that happens to be longer, and you're doing a lot of footwork, maybe a funk gig or a metal gig, something, once you get tired, everything else suffers, and then you start putting so much effort into trying to make the notes happen. So playing relaxed will just open up a whole new world of possibilities for you. Next, we're going to look at combining the up, down, up, down. A little faster. I first learned this technique from Steve Smith, who learned it from Freddie Gruber. I believe they refer to it as the constant release bass drum technique. You're not putting a lot of pressure on the foot. Everything's staying real light. It's almost, you hear people talk about dancing on the pedals. So, you know, you can hold yourself up. And for more information on this, you should really check out Steve's DVD, History of the US Beat Drum Set Technique. He breaks it down in much greater detail than I'm about to do it here. But just to take an overview, look at it. So you're in this constant motion with the foot. So basically the note on the way up, there's that motion, and on the way down, that's that motion. And then I've made my own adaptation, like getting the note as I'm coming down. So if I put that together, hope you enjoyed what I had to share with you today. Just keep in mind that when you are developing a new technique or exploring things that are new, or you're undoing maybe some bad habits that you've developed through the years, like I've had a lot and a lot of drummers have, it's important to work things really slow, understand the information, understand movement dictates sound. So how you move is going to dictate the time, the tone, everything. You should seek out a qualified teacher to help you through these series of movements or new techniques, whatever it is you're developing. You can hurt yourself playing this instrument. It's actually very athletic, so I can't stress enough the value of having just a great foundation and technique, as you hear a lot of the world's top drummers stress to you as well. So just have fun, explore it, hope you learn something.